introducing myself. I am Mona Tranter. I am the director and owner of the Tranter-Sinni gallery. I'd like to thank the ICFF. This has been a wonderful show, and it's the first time that they here in Miami have a gallery section. And if I see a lot of you here from earlier today or yesterday that have already been to the gallery section. So I invite you, if you have not been there yet, to definitely head over there and take a look, because it is really, I'm here to talk about sort of investing in art, the art market, how art and design work together. And I think this is the perfect opportunity to see how it is all working together in this kind of a show. And I understand that the ICFF also has this in New York, and in New York it's a much bigger show, I understand, and they have been very, very successful with the gallery addition to that show as well. So please come to us at the end. Our booths are 1204 and 1211, but there's also other great booths over there. So I invite you to come and see some art, see how it can fit in with the rest of the design of the show. So I'll give you a bit of my background, because it's always kind of good to know, you know, who's in front of you and what I'm all about and what my background is. I've been in the art industry since I was, 3 years old. I grew up with a very artistic family, my mother being a painter, my brother was music, I was a professional dancer. Beginning at 12, I was, doing Broadway shows and doing a lot of film and television. But of course with my mother in art, so I was always at galleries and exhibitions. And as you get to be a little bit older in the dance industry, it starts to get harder and harder to kick to your head every day, and it hurts a lot more, because my mom said, when you're 40, it's gonna hurt. And let me tell you, I didn't believe her, but it's true. And I said, no, I'm gonna be able to do this forever, and I put my stomach to the ground, and I still make myself do that every day, but it hurts a lot more. So it was just natural for me to sort of get to start into this art industry. And with my experience as a dancer and choreographer and director, I had worked on both sides of the dance as an artist and the behind the scenes of the artist. So to be a gallerist and an art consultant and art advisor, it all just makes sense. And I started out in this industry as an art consultant and art advisor before I even had a gallery. I grew up in Canada. The first business that I opened with my husband was called the Fine Art Experience, which is essentially just a brokerage business, an art dealer. And we just had a lot of clients. My husband deals in classic and exotic cars. So he had a lot of clients that were coming to me asking about the art industry and, who should I invest in now? And I have a beautiful space. So I was going into a lot of collectors' homes and looking at their space and just telling them what I thought from my experience. And, I only speak from my experience. My experience is dealing with the gallerists, the curators, the artists, and kind of every spectrum in the art industry. That's my experience, and that's what I speak from. And of course, that's all I can speak to. But art has been my passion. I love everything about the art industry. I love to be here to see how art has evolved. What we're doing is exceptional. We have Rafael Barrios, who is a master here. He's a US artist with Venezuelan parents. He'll be speaking a little bit later. But we're so lucky to sort of have that mix, and that, to walk from one end of the room and see these beautiful mahogany tables, to walk and see exceptional sculptures, then to go and see these incredible designs in furniture and wall coverings. So this is a fantastic show. I'm going to swing it into kind of what I do a lot of, which is the art market. I'm going to talk about the art market, sort of what's happening, what's been happening, what's happening now, and where it's going to, and then we're going to get back a little bit more to sort of the art and design and how they mix together. So, the art industry sort of, it's been around forever. People have been creating on walls forever. It's always been an expression. But when we kind of look at the art market, we look at when it sort of put itself on the map, we would probably look at, you know, the early 1990s. This is when art sort of became on this rise, and it grew, and you started to have all sorts of collectors and corporations and the auction houses. Really, I mean, the auction houses have been around for a long time, but things really started happening in the art industry. It was very exciting for the artist. And then by 2008, unfortunately, we had the recession, and everything sort of took a very hard pause. And at that time, kind of 2008, 2009, that was sort of the opportunist time to come in and snatch up some of those really significant artists like Basquiat or Tremblay or Wold. You could come in at that point and you could get some of those artists for some really good prices because of the recession, and that the demand was, that just the money was not there, of course. But it was very surprising because typically in the art industry, you have something happening every two to 3 years. They say it takes a little bit of a pause, but in 2010, all of a sudden, it was on the rise, and it was faster, and it was stronger, and you had more players, and by more players, you had more artists, you had more collectors, and the collectors were from all over. The Brazilian collectors came in, the Chinese collectors, they came in very strong. You had collectors from Malaysia, the European collectors came in. Of course, we have our North American collectors, but you were talking about a thriving, strong art economy in 2010. And for the last, since 2010, for all these years, artists continue to rise. The markets continue to go up. I always have people sort of asking me, well, what is this all about? Is art taste? Is it fantasy? What is happening in the art world that is, demanding this sort of rise? And I think it's a combination, right? Fantasy, taste, fashion. Let's talk about art as fashion. The fashion swings in the art world are huge. I don't think anyone can kind of say what it is or why it is, but you have huge fashion swings. And like fashion, it can be in one day, and the next day, the fashion can change, and there's something else happening, and that's sort of the way it goes in the art industry.